各位来宾、
distinguished guests,
同志们、
comrades,
朋友们，
friends.
纪念辛亥
The
革
meeting
命
to
110
commemorate the
周年大会
110th
现在
anniversary
开
of the
始，
1911 revolution now
请全
begins.
体起立，
Please
唱
all
中
rise
华人民
and
共和
sing the
国
national
国歌。
anthem of the People's Republic of China. Please be seated.
出席今天大会的
The
领导
leading
同志
comrades
有
present today are
中共中央总书记、
General
国
Secretary
家
of
主
the
席、
Communist Party of
中
China
央军
Central
委主
Committee,
席
Chinese
习
President
近平
and
同志。
Chairman of the Central Military Commission, Comrade Xi Jinping.
中共中央政治局
Members
常
of the
委
Standing Committee of the
李克
Political
强、
Bureau of the CPC
栗战
Central
书、
Committee, 李克
王沪
强、
宁、
栗战书、
赵乐
王
际、
沪宁、赵
韩正同
乐际
志、
and 韩正
国家副主席
and Vice
王岐
Premier
山同志。
王岐山.
出席大会的还有
Also present at the
在
meeting,
京党和国家领
party
导
and
同
state
志、
leaders in
中
Beijing,
央军委委
members
员、
of the Central Military
中央
Commission,
党政军
comrades
群
from
各
party,
部门
government, military,
和
and
北京
public
市主要
institutions,
负责同
and the
志。
key responsible personnel
民主
of
党
these
派中
departments
央
in Beijing,
全国工商
representatives
联
from the
负责
Central
同志
Committee of the
和
Democratic
无党
Parties
派
and
人
the
士代表。
National Federation of
全国人
Industry
大
and Commerce,
在
and
京
the
常委
personage with
及
no
部分
party
人大代表
affiliation, members of the
全国政
NPC
协
Standing Committee in
在
Beijing
京
and some
常委
NPC
及
deputies,
部分委
the
员
Standing Committee of the
民族
CPPCC
宗教
National
界
Committee in
和
Beijing
社
on
会
the
团
part
体
of
代
the
表
members, representatives on behalf
部
of
分
ethnic,
外国驻华使
religious,
节
and social groups,
应邀
some
参加纪
diplomatic
念活动
envoys
的
to China,
辛亥革命
descendants of the pioneers of the
香港、
1911
澳门、
revolution
台湾有
invited to
关
the
人士代
meeting,
表
representatives from
及
Hong Kong,
海外来
Macau,
宾
and Taiwan, and
解放军
overseas
和
guests,
武警部队官兵代
officers
表
and soldiers of the
首都
People's
各界
Liberation
群众
Army
代
and
表
armed
等
police force, and the people from all
现
walks
在
of life in
请
Beijing.
全国人大常委会
Now
副
I'd
委员
like to
长
invite Vice
中国
Chairman
国
of the
民党
Standing
革命委
Committee
员
of the
会
National People's
中
Congress
央
and
委员
Chairman
会
of the
主席
Central Committee
万恶
of
香
the
同志发
Revolutionary
言。
Committee of the Chinese Kuomintang, Comrade Wang Exiang, to deliver a speech.
Comrades
朋友们，
and friends,
今天我们在这里隆重
today
集会，
we gather here
纪念辛亥革
to
命
mark the
110周年，
110th anniversary of the Revolution of
等
1911,
革命先
to
驱
cherish the
的卓
memory
越
of
功
the
勋，
outstanding exploits of
弘扬
Dr.
辛亥
Sun
革命
Yat-sen and other
宝贵精
revolutionary
神，
pioneers, to
铭记
carry forward the
全体
precious
中华儿女
spirit of this
实
revolution
现民
and
族
to
复兴
reaffirm the shared
和国家
aspiration of
统一
all
的
the sons and daughters of the
共同意愿。
Chinese nation to achieve
我
national
谨代表
rejuvenation and
中国国民
reunification.
党革
On
命委员
behalf
会
of the Revolutionary Committee
中国
of the
民主同盟
Chinese Kuomintang, the
中国
China
民主建
Democratic
国会
League, the China
中国
Democratic
民主
National
促进会
Construction Association,
中国
and the
农
China
工民主党
Association for Promoting
中
Democracy,
国
the
自工党
Chinese Peasants and Workers
九三
Democratic
学社
Party, the China Zhigong
台湾
Party,
民主
the
自治同盟
Jiusan Society,
和
the
中国
Taiwan
工商业联
Democratic
合会
Self-Government League,
向
and
辛
the
亥革
All
命
China
先驱
Federation of Industry
致以
and
崇
Commerce,
高的敬意
I'd like to pay my highest
向
tribute
辛亥
to
革
the
命
pioneers of the
先驱后
Revolution
裔
of 1911,
和
and
应
I'd
邀
like to
参加
extend
本次纪
sincere
念活动
greetings
的
to the descendants
海
of
内
these
外朋友
revolutionaries
致以
and
诚挚
to
的
all our
问候
friends from home and abroad who have been invited to this commemoration.
辛亥革命使中华民
As
族
one of the most important
伟大复兴征程
milestones
上
on
的
our journey
重
toward
要里
national
程碑
rejuvenation,
为
the
后世留下
Revolution
了
of 1911
宝贵的精神
has
财富。
left an invaluable legacy to
以孙中
future
山先生
generations.
为代表的
Through
革命先
tenacious
驱，
struggle, the revolutionary
发动辛亥革命。
pioneers represented by Dr. Sun
经过百
Yat-sen
折不挠的
launched
斗
this
争，
revolution, putting
结
an
束了
end
统治
to the
中国
absolute monarchy
2000多
that
年
had
的
reigned over
君主
China for more than
专制制度。
2,000 years,
开创了完全
ushering
意义
in
上的
a modern
近代
national
民主
democratic
革命，
revolution in the truest
传播了
sense, and helping
共和理念，
spread the ideas of democracy
巨大的
and
震撼力
republicanism.
和深
Their
刻的影
tremendous
响力，
power and profound
推动
influence
了近代
helped to
中国的思
liberate
想
the
解放
thinking of the Chinese
和社会
people
变革，
and bring about social
为中国
changes
的
in
进步
modern
潮流
China, opening the
打开了闸门。
floodgates for China's
辛亥
progress.
革命留下的振兴中华的
The spirit of the
爱国精
revolution
神
of 1911,
不畏
such
强
as
权
the
的
patriotic spirit
革命精
of
神，
revitalizing China,
反对
the
专制的
revolutionary spirit of never
民主
yielding to
精神，
power, the democratic
舍身忘我
spirit of
的
opposing
牺牲精神，
autocracy, the heroic spirit
愈
of
挫愈勇的
sacrificing one's life for a
奋
noble
斗精神，
cause, the tenacious spirit
胸怀
of
大局的
soldiering on despite
协作精
setbacks,
神，
and the collaborative
激励
spirit
着
of
中
keeping the
国
big picture in mind,
一代又一代
has
仁人志士
inspired generation
人民
after generation of
不畏艰
noble-minded
险
patriots
奋勇
to
向
lead the
前。
people in forging ahead in the face
辛
of
亥革命以
hardship
来的
and
历史
peril.
证明，只有中国共产党
Since the revolution of
才能带领中国
1911,
人民
history has shown that
当
only
起
the
民族
Communist
救
Party of
亡
China
和
can
复
lead
兴
the
的重
Chinese
任，
people in taking on the
由于
great
历史
task
进
of
程
national salvation
和社
and
会条件的制
rejuvenation.
约，
Constrained by the
辛亥革命
historical and social conditions
没有
of the
改变
time,
旧中国
the revolution of
半殖民地
1911 could not change the
半封建的社会性
semi-colonial
质，
and semi-feudal nature
也无法
of
完成
Chinese society,
民族
nor
独立
could it accomplish
人民
the
解放
historic missions
历
of
史任务。
national independence and the
中
people's
国共产党
liberation.
成立以后，在百
The
年
CPC
非
has
凡奋
made
斗历程中，
exceptional achievements over the 100 years since its founding.
经
It
过艰
united
苦
and
卓
led
绝
the
的斗
Chinese
争，
people through an
彻底
arduous
推
and
翻
bitter
三座大
struggle,
山，
toppling the three
实现
mountains of
民族独立
imperialism, feudalism,
和人
and the
民解放，
bureaucrat capitalism to secure our
建立
nation's
了中华人民
independence,
共和国，
liberate our people, and
领导人
establish
民
the
建立和
People's
完善
Republic of China.
中国特色
It
社
has
会
led the
主义
people in
制度，
establishing and improving the
最大
system
限
of
度保障了
socialism with Chinese
14亿多
characteristics,
人民的
safeguarding to the greatest
生命权、
extent more than 1.4
健康
billion
权、
people's fundamental
发
rights
展
and
权
interests, including their
和
rights to
政治
life,
权
health,
等
and
根本权
development,
利，
as well as their political
始
rights.
终坚持
It has
以人民
always
为
put
中
the
心，
people first
坚
and
持改
has
革
been
开放，
committed to the reform and
坚
opening
定
up
不移
policy
走共
and
同
to
富裕道
pursuing
路，
prosperity for all.
带领人民创造了
It has led the Chinese
世所
people
罕
in
见的
creating a miracle
经济快速
of
发展
rapid economic development
和社会
and
长期
long-term social
稳定的奇迹。
stability of a kind rarely
在
seen
中华
in the
大地
world.
上，
And
全
it
面
has
建成
successfully built China
小康社会。
into a moderately prosperous society
今天的
in
中
all
国
respects.
在
In
中国
today's
共产党
China,
的
Under the
坚强
firm
领导下，
leadership of the CPC
在中国人
and
民的
through the tireless
奋斗
efforts
下，
of the Chinese people,
国家
our
繁
nation
荣富
is
强，
prosperous and strong.
民族
Our
团结进
ethnic groups are
步，人
advancing in
民当
unity.
家作主，
Our people are running their
民生
own
持续
country,
改善。
and our living standards are growing
孙中
ever
山先
better.
生
Step
等
by
辛亥
step,
革命先
the
驱
cherished aspirations of
当年的
Dr.
夙
Sun
愿
Yat-sen and their
已经
pioneers
和正
of the
在
revolution of
一步步实
1911
现。
have all become or
中华
are
民族
becoming reality.
正以不可
And the
阻挡
Chinese
的步
people
伐，
are advancing with
向着伟
unstoppable
大
momentum
复兴的
toward the
目标
great goal of national
阔步前进。
rejuvenation.
各民主党派
All democratic
联
parties and the All
作为
China
中国特
Federation
色
of
社会主义
Industry and
事业的
Commerce have
亲历者、
experienced,
实践者、
implemented,
拥护者、
upheld,
捍
and
卫者、
defended socialism
共同
with
参与、
Chinese characteristics.
共同见
We've
证的
participated in and
中华民族
witnessed the tremendous
从站起来、
transformation of the Chinese nation
富起来
from the time of its
到强
standing
起来
up
的
and growing
伟大飞跃。
prosperous to the time of its
我们
becoming
深切体
strong.
会到，
Our experience
只有
has
中国
made us
共产党
keenly aware that
才能
only the
领导中国，
CPC can lead
只有
China,
社会
that
主义
only socialism
才能
can
救中国。
save China,
只有中国
and
特
that
色社会主
only
义
socialism with
才能
Chinese
发展中国，
characteristics can develop
实现中华
China
民族
and realize the
伟大
Chinese
复兴的
dream of
中国梦。
national rejuvenation. As China reaches the historical convergence of the two centenary goals, we'll embark on a new journey, rally more closely around the CPC Central Committee with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core, and continue to play our roles as good advisors, aides, and colleagues to the CPC. In this way, we will make our contribution to the improvement and development of socialism with Chinese characteristics in the new era, and to the early establishment of China as a modern socialist country that is prosperous, strong, democratic, culturally advanced, harmonious, and beautiful. We, the sons and daughters of the Chinese nation, should strive to realize national reunification, the unfinished cause of the pioneers of the revolution, at the earliest opportunity. Today, as we cherish the memory of Dr. Sun Yat-sen and the other pioneers of the revolution, it is even more important that we keep in mind their firm conviction in opposing the separation of our country and safeguarding territorial integrity, as well as their unremitting efforts to remove obstacles and promote reunification. Achieving China's complete reunification serves the fundamental interests of the Chinese nation. It is the aspiration shared by all Chinese people, and most importantly, it is a goal that countless pioneers, martyrs, and forebears have spent their lives fighting for since the revolution of 1911. As we face momentous changes, the likes of which the world has not seen in a century, it is our sincere hope that all of us, compatriots on both sides of the Taiwan Strait, will give top priority to the fundamental interests of our country and nation, and to the big picture of the rejuvenation strategy of the Chinese nation, working together to oppose separatist elements advocating Taiwan independence in order to realize China's complete reunification as early as possible. Together, we, the Chinese nation, will march toward a more splendid tomorrow. Thank you.
Now, I would like to invite
归国华侨联合会
Chairman
主
of
席
the Old China
万立
Federation
俊
of
同志
Returned
发言。
Overseas Chinese, Comrade Wan Lijun, to deliver a speech. Comrades and friends, today our hearts are filled with reverence as we gather on this solemn occasion to commemorate the 110th anniversary of the Revolution of 1911. On behalf of the country's people's organizations, I wish to express our heartfelt remembrance of and pay sincere tribute to Dr. Sun Yat-sen, the great forerunner of the democratic revolution, who led the revolution of 1911, and the revolutionary martyrs who heroically laid down their life to overthrow the monarchic system and found a republic in China. As it entered the modern time, bullied by foreign powers and beset by domestic corruption, the Chinese nation was in grave crisis. Saving the nation, ensuring its survival, thus become the call of the times. 110 years ago, the revolution of 1911 erupted and toppled the Qing dynasty, ending more than 2,000 years of federal autocracy in China and opening the floodgates for China's advancement. Thus, in 1921, the Communist Party of China was born, ushering in a new epoch in Chinese history. Over the past 100 years, the CPC has united and led the Chinese people through tenacious struggle, making miraculous historical achievements one after another. Today, a vibrant China has emerged in the East, and the Chinese nation is closer than ever before to making the goal of national rejuvenation a reality. History shows that the CPC is the central pillar of the rejuvenation of the Chinese nation at the path of socialism with Chinese characteristics is the correct path for China's development and progress. We must unswervingly uphold the leadership of the CPC and follow the path of socialism with Chinese characteristics. Since its founding, the CPC has carried on the work of the pioneers of the Revolution of 1911. It founded the People's Republic of China, where the people are the masters of their own country, and blazed the path of socialism with Chinese characteristics, thus writing the most magnificent chapter in the millennia-long history of the Chinese nation. Past experience has proven that without the Communist Party, there would have been no new China, that only socialism can save China and enable China to develop, and that the CPC is the leadership core for the cause of socialism with Chinese characteristics. On the journey ahead, we must unswervingly uphold the leadership of the CPC and follow the guidance of Xi Jinping on socialism with Chinese characteristics for a new era. We must better maintain political integrity, think in big picture terms, follow the leadership core, keep in alignment with the central party leadership. We must stay confident in the past theory, system, and the culture of socialism with Chinese characteristics. We must uphold the core position of the General Secretary Xi Jinping on the Party Central Committee and in the party as a whole. History shows that the rejuvenation of the Chinese nation has been our greatest dream since the advent of the modern era. To make this dream come true, we must promote the spirit of patriotism and strengthen unity and solidarity between Chinese people at home and abroad. Dr. Sun Yat-sen once again said that the overseas Chinese are the mother of the revolution. During the revolution of 1911, overseas Chinese supported revolutionary pioneers in spreading ideas in established organizations, and they actively participated in uprisings. Since the founding of the People's Republic of China, Chinese nationals residing abroad returned overseas Chinese, and the relatives of overseas Chinese nationals residing in China have always shared the same prize and fate with the motherland, making important contributions to China's revolution, development, and reform. On the journey ahead, we must hold high the banner of patriotism, fully implement the CPC policies on overseas Chinese affairs, and give full play to the unique strengths of the Chinese nationals residing abroad, returned overseas Chinese and overseas Chinese nationals residing in China, so that all Chinese can focus on their ingenuity and energy on the same goal and come together as a mighty force to create a better future of national rejuvenation. History shows that the people's endorsement and support is the source of strength that ensure the success of our cause. We must give play to the role of a people's organization in uniting the people that they are associated with and seeing that they rally closely around the CPC. One of the important reasons that the CPC has been able to ceaselessly realize and advance the unfinished work of the revolution of 1911 is that it has always put the people first, closely relied on the people, and worked to benefit the people. People's organizations have the important task of organizing, mobilizing, guiding, and serving the people. They served as the bridges that link the party and government with the people. On the journey ahead, we must work to see that the people's organizations faithfully perform their functions so that they strengthen their political character, pioneering nature, and connection with the people, and that they deal with issues related to the people thoroughly and meticulously. History shows that resolving the Taiwan question and realizing China's complete unification is a shared aspiration of all the sons and daughters of the Chinese nation. Thus, we must unequivocally oppose separatist activities aimed at Taiwan independence and press ahead with the peaceful reunification of China. Achieving China's complete unification is the key element of the spirit of the Revolution of 1911, as well as the common inspiration of compatriots on both sides of the strait. No person, no force can stop the historic trend toward a stronger China, national rejuvenation, and cross-strait unification. On the journey ahead, we will uphold the One China principle and the 1992 consensus, so as to build a broad consensus among all Chinese people, including our compatriots in Taiwan. We will strengthen and deepen people-to-people exchanges and promote the convergence of hearts and minds across the strait. In this way, we will rally all Chinese people at home and abroad to join us in completing the just cause of peaceful national rejuvenation. Comrades and friends, let us rally closely around the CPC Central Committee with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core and work concertedly with one heart and one mind for the Chinese dream of national rejuvenation.
Now,
please allow me to give the floor to General Secretary of the Communist Party of China Central Committee, Chinese President, and Chairman of the Central Military Commission, Comrade Xi Jinping, to deliver an important speech.
Comrades and friends,
110年前
110 years ago,
以孙中山先生为代表
Chinese
的
revolutionaries,
革命党人
represented by Dr. Sun
发动
Yat-sen,
了
stunned the
震
world
惊世
when
界
they
的
launched the
辛亥革命
revolution of 1911.
推翻了清朝
They
政府
brought down the Qing
结
government,
束了
ended the
在中国
absolute
延
monarchy
续几
that
千
had
年的
ruled China for
君主专
thousands
制
of
制
years.
度近代以来
And
中国发生的
paved
深
the
刻
way
社会变革
For the profound
此拉
social
开了
changes
序
that
幕
have taken place in modern China.
这是中国人民和
This
中国
was a
先进
great
分
and
子
arduous
为实
exploration
现民族
undertaken
统
by the
独立
Chinese people and
人民
the
解
Chinese
放
progressives in a bid
进
to
行的
achieve
一次伟
national
大
independence
而
and
艰辛
the
探
people's
索
liberation.
今年是辛亥革命110周年，
This year
是
marks
中国
the
共产党成立
110th anniversary
100周年，
of the revolution of
中国人
1911
民
and the centenary of the
正意
CPC,
气风发
and the
向着
Chinese
全
people
面
are
建
striding
成社
with
会主义
confidence toward
现代
the
化
second
强国的
centenary goal of
第二
building
个
China into
百年
a
奋斗
great
目
modern
标
socialist
迈进。
country in all respects.
在这个重要时刻，
On this special occasion,
我们在这里隆
we
重
gather
集会
here
缅
to
怀
commemorate
孙
the
中山先
historic
生等革
exploits
命先
of
驱
the
的
revolutionary
历史
pioneers
功勋，
like Dr. Sun Yat-sen,
就是要学习
to
和弘扬
emulate and carry
他们为
forward their
振
lofty
兴中
spirit
华
of working
而使之不
with
渝的
unshakable
崇高
resolve
精神
to revitalize China
激励
and
和团
to
结
inspire and
海内
rally
外
the sons and daughters
全体
of the
中华儿女
Chinese nation at home and
为实
abroad
现
to
中华
work
民族伟
together
大复
to
兴
realize the
而
rejuvenation
共同
of
奋
the
斗。
Chinese nation.
同志们、朋友们，
Comrades and friends,
辛亥革命的发生
the revolution of
有着深刻
1911,
的
with
社
its
会
deep
历史背景，
social and historical roots,
是近代以
was an
来
inevitable product
中国
of
社
the
会矛盾激
intensifying
化
social conflicts
和
and
中国人民顽
tenacious
强斗
struggles
争的
of the Chinese
必然
people
结果。
in modern China.
中华民族
Over more
是
than
世界上
5,000 years of
古老
history,
而
the
伟
great
大的民
and
族，
ancient Chinese nation
有着
made
5000多年
indelible contributions
源远流
to
长的
human
文明历史。
civilization.
为人类文明进步做出了不可磨灭的贡献。1840
But
年鸦
after the
片战争
Opium
以后
War，of 1840,
西方列强
Western
在
powers
中华大地上
came to
恣意
act
妄为，
with impunity on Chinese lands,
封建统治者
and feudal
孱
rulers
弱无能，
were rendered weak and ineffectual.
中国逐步成为
Gradually,
半殖民地、
China was reduced to
半封建
a
社会。
semi-colonial and semi-feudal society,
国家蒙辱，
with our country
人民蒙
humiliated,
难，
our people subjected to
文明
great
蒙
pain,
尘。
and our civilization plunged into
中国
darkness.
人民
The Chinese
中华
people
民族遭
and
受了
the
前
Chinese
所未
nation
有的劫难。
suffered greater ravages than ever before.
英雄的中国人民
The heroic
始
Chinese
终没有
people
屈服，
however, did not admit
在救亡
defeat.
图存的道路上，
They kept
一次次
fighting and
抗争，
exploring new
一
ways
次
to
次
save the
求索，
nation.
展现了
And
不畏
they
强暴、
demonstrated
自
an
强不息
unbending
的
will and
顽强
defiance
意志。
in the face of brutality.
从那时起，
Since that time,
实现中华民族伟大
national
复兴
rejuvenation
就成
has
为
been
中
the
华民
greatest
族
dream
最伟大
of the
的梦
Chinese
想。
people.
孙中山先生是伟
Dr.
大
Sun
的
Yat-sen
民族
was a
英雄，
great national hero,
伟大
a
的
great
爱国主义者，
patriot,
中国民主革命
and
的
a
伟
great
大先驱。
pioneer of China's democratic revolution.
孙中山先生大声
He
疾呼，
called out
集成
to
思民于
save
水
our
火，
people from misery
切服大
and
厦之
prop
将
up
倾，
our tottering country without
高
delay.
扬反对封建专
He
制
held
统治
high
的
the banner
斗争
of
旗帜，
struggle against feudal
提
autocracy
出
and
民族
put forward the
民
political
权
program based on the
民生
three
的
people's
三民主义
principles of
政治纲
nationalism,
领，
democracy, and
率
people's
先发出
livelihood.
振
And he
兴
was the
中
first
华
to
的
call
大
for
喊。
the revitalization of China.
在孙中山先生领导
Under
和
his
影响
leadership
下，
and influence,
大批革命党
large
人
numbers of
和无数
revolutionaries
爱
and
国志
countless
士
dedicated
积聚在
patriots
振兴
rallied
中华
under the
旗帜
banner
之
of
下，
revitalizing China.
广泛传
They
播
spread
革命
revolutionary
思想，
ideas far and
积
wide,
极兴起
unleashed the
进步
tide of
浪潮，
progress,
连
and
续发动
launched
武
a
装起
series
义
of，armed uprisings,
推动了革命大
generating
势的
an
形成。
unstoppable wave of revolution.
1911年10月
On
10日，
October the 10th,
武昌城
1911,
头枪声一响，
gunfire in Wuchang City
拉开了
sounded the start
中国
of a
完
true
全意义
national
上的
democratic revolution
近代
in modern
民族
China.
民主革命的序幕。辛亥革命
The revolution of
极大
1911
促进了
helped
中华民
to
族的
greatly liberate
思想解
the
放，
thinking of the Chinese people,
传播了
spread the
民主
ideas
共和
of
的理念，
democracy and republicanism,
打开了
and
中
opened
国
the
进
floodgates
步潮
for
流的
progress
闸门，
in China.
撼动了
It shook
反
the
动
very
统治
foundations
秩序的
of reactionary
根基，
rule,
在中华
and
大地上
brought about
建立
the
起亚
establishment
洲
of a
第一
republic
个
on
共
Chinese
和制
soil,
国家，
the first of its kind in
以
Asia,
巨大的震撼力
with tremendous
和
power
深刻的
and
影响
profound
力，
influence.
推动了
The
中国
revolution of
社会变革，
1911 triggered a social
为实现
transformation
中华
in
民族伟
China
大复兴
and led to the
探索了
search
道
for a
路。
path to national rejuvenation.
孙中山先生和
The
辛亥
historic
革命先
contributions
驱
to the Chinese nation of
为
Dr.
中华
Sun
民族建
Yat-sen
立
and
的
other pioneers
历史功绩
of the revolution
标炳
will
千
never
秋。
fade from the annals of history.
在辛亥革命中
Those
英勇
who
奋斗
heroically fought
和壮烈
and
牺牲
died
的
in
志
the
士们
revolution
名
will
垂
be
青史。
revered and remembered by the Chinese
辛亥
people
革命
for all time.
永远是
The
中华
revolution
民
of
族
1911
伟大
will
复兴
forever
征程上
stand as a towering
一座
landmark on
巍
our
然
nation's
屹立
journey
的
toward
里程碑。
rejuvenation.
同志们、朋友们，
Comrades and friends,
历史发展总是螺
history
旋式上升，
spirals upward,
波浪式前进。
advancing in waves of progress,
由于历史进程和社会条件的
constrained
制
by
约，
the historical and
由
social
于没有找
conditions
到
of the
解
time,
决中国前
and
途命运问题的
lacking
正
the
确
right
道路，
path and leading force to determine the future of the country. The revolution of 1911 could not change the semi-colonial and semi-feudal nature of the Chinese society. It could not alter the bitter fate of the Chinese people, and it could not accomplish the historic missions of national independence and the people's liberation. In the following years, however, the Chinese people and the progressives who were tempered in the heat of the revolution continued searching for a way to save the country and the people. With the salvos of Russia's October Revolution in 1917, Marxism-Leninism was brought to China, sparking a great awakening among the Chinese people. In the course of integrating Marxism-Leninism with the Chinese workers' movement, the Communist Party of China was born. On the day of its founding, the CPC made seeking happiness for the Chinese people and rejuvenation for the Chinese nation its aspiration and mission, thus lighting a beacon of hope for the cause of national rejuvenation. Chinese communists were the most steadfast supporters, loyal collaborators, and faithful successors to the revolutionary cause initiated by Dr. Sun Yat-sen. At its founding, the CPC proposed an anti-imperialist and anti-feudal program for democratic revolution, and worked together with the Chinese Kuomintang, led by Dr. Sun. It helped the KMT to complete its reorganization and cooperated with it to establish the broadest possible revolutionary united front and to launch the Great Revolution, which dealt a severe blow to the reactionary rule of the northern warlords. After the death of Dr. Sun Yat-sen, Chinese communists remained true to his wishes and carried on the struggle with all those who were loyal to his cause, working continually to realize and build on the great aspirations of Dr. Sun and other pioneers of the Revolution of 1911. The CPC united the Chinese people and led them in waging a fierce struggle with unyielding determination to defeat reactionary forces both at home and abroad, secure victory in the new democratic revolution, and establish the People's Republic of China, which made the people the masters of the country. The Chinese communists and Chinese people thus accomplished the historic missions of national independence and the people's liberation, and ushered in a new era of development and progress for the Chinese nation. After the founding of the People's Republic, the CPC united and led the Chinese people in working to build a stronger China through a spirit of self-reliance, achieving great success in socialist revolution and construction. It led the people in freeing their minds and forging ahead to secure great success in reform, opening up, and socialist modernization. And it has led the people in pursuing a great struggle, a great project, a great cause, and a great dream through a spirit of self-confidence, self-reliance, and innovation on the basis of tradition, achieving great success in upholding and developing socialism with Chinese characteristics in the new era. Comparing the China of today with that of the past, we find that the aspiration of national revitalization that was deeply held by Dr. Sun Yat-sen, the longing for a bright future for the Chinese nation that was cherished by the pioneers of the revolution, and the great dream that the Chinese people have aspired and striving toward in modern times, have all become or are becoming reality. The Chinese nation has achieved a tremendous transformation from standing up and growing prosperous to becoming strong. And its national rejuvenation has become a historical inevitability.
Comrades and friends, in his plans for national reconstruction, Dr. Sun Yat-sen wrote, "If I believe something to be feasible, even it may be as difficult as moving a mountain or draining a sea, I will one day bring it to pass." Today, after many years of hard work, we possess stronger institutions, firmer material foundations, and a more proactive mindset for realizing national rejuvenation. The prospects are bright and broad, but the road ahead will not be all smooth sailing. We must draw on the lessons of our past in order to forge our future. On the new journey of building a modern socialist country in all respects, we will carry forward our historic mission and seize the historical initiative so as to keep driving the great cause of national rejuvenation forward. The past 110 years have shown us that to realize national rejuvenation, the Chinese people must have a strong force to lead us forward. And that force is the Communist Party of China. The party was chosen to lead by history and by the people. Its leadership is the very foundation of lifeblood of the party and the country, and it is the crux upon which the interests and well-being of all Chinese people depend. Without the Communist Party of China, there would be no new China and no national rejuvenation. On the journey ahead, we must uphold and strengthen the CPC's overall leadership. We will ensure that the party fulfills its core role of providing overarching leadership and coordinating efforts on all fronts. And we will ensure its capability to conduct sound, democratic, and law-based governance. We will champion the great founding spirit of the party, advance the great new project of party building, and strengthen the party's ability to purify, improve, and reform itself, so as to ensure it always firmly stands as the most reliable backbone of the Chinese nation and people.
辛亥革命110年来的历史
The
启
past
示我们，
110 years have shown
实
us
现中华民
that
族伟大
to
复兴
realize national
道
rejuvenation,
路是最根本
the
的问题。
path we take is of fundamental
中
importance.
国特色社会主义
Socialism with
是
Chinese
实现中华民
characteristics
族伟大复兴的唯一
has
正确
proven
道
to
路。
be the only correct path.
这条道路符合
These
中
paths
国实际、
accords with the realities
反映
of China,
中国人民意愿、
the will of the Chinese
适应
people,
时代发展
and
要
the
求，
requirements of contemporary
不仅走得对，
development.
走得通，
It is not
而且
only
也
the
一定
right
能够
path for
走得
reaching
稳，
our destination,
走得好。
it will also take us there with strong and
新的
sure
征程
strides.
上，我们必
On
须
the
坚持
journey
发展
ahead,
中国特
we
色
must
社会主
uphold
义
and
不
develop
动摇，
socialism with Chinese
继续推
characteristics.
进马克思主义中国化，
Keep adapting
时代化。
Marxism to the Chinese context and the
坚定
needs of our
志不改
times.
道不变的决
Remain
心，
firmly committed to our
牢牢把
aspiration
中国发
and
展
our
进步的
path,
命运掌
and
握
make
在
sure
自己
the
手中。
future of China's development remains firmly in
我
our
们要
own
统筹推
hands.
进无为一体
We will
总体
ensure
布局
coordinated implementation of the
协调推进
five-sphered integrated
四
plan
个全面
and the
战
four-pronged
略布局
comprehensive strategy,
全面深化改革，
deepen reform
扩大开
and
放，
opening up across the board.
推进国家治理体系和治理能力现代化，
Modernize China's system
不
and
断满足人
capacity
民过上
for
美好
governance,
生活的新
and
期
work
待。
tirelessly to
不断
fulfill the
推进
people's aspirations
全体
for a better
人民
life
共
and
同富裕。
realize common prosperity for all.
辛亥革命110年来的历史
The past
启示我们，
110 years have shown us
实现中
that
华
to
民族伟大
realize
复
national
兴，
rejuvenation,
必须依靠中国人民自己
the
的
Chinese
英
people
勇奋斗
must rely
来
on
实
our
现。
own heroic efforts.
历史发展从来不是风平
Never
浪
has
静，
history taken a peaceful
而
or
是充
tranquil
满
course.
曲折和艰
It has
辛的。
always advanced amid setbacks and
正如
difficulties.
毛泽东同志所说的，
But in the words of Mao
我们的
Zedong,
先人以
our
不屈不挠的斗争
forefathers
反对
never
内外
stopped
压迫者，
waging unyielding
从来
struggles
没有
against
停止。
domestic and foreign oppressors.
中国人民的不屈不挠的努力，
By our
必将
own indomitable
稳步地
efforts,
达到
we,
自
the
己的
Chinese
目的。
people, will unswervingly reach our goal.
新的征程上，
On
我
the
们必须
journey
统
ahead,
筹中华民族伟大复兴
we
战略
must
全局
remember that we are pursuing
和
national
世界
rejuvenation in
100
a
年
world
未有之
that is
大变局。
undergoing momentous changes of
抓
a
住历史
kind
机
never
遇，
seen in a century.
增强
We must
忧
seize
患
the
意识，
opportunities that the
始
era has
终
offered to us.
居安思
We
危，
must remain vigilant and be
保持
better
革命精
prepared
神
for
和
adversity
革命斗志，
and maintain our revolutionary
勇于
spirit
进
and
行许
moral,
多具有许多新的
and have
历史特
the
点的
courage
伟大斗争，
to carry out a great struggle
以敢
with
于斗
many
争
new contemporary
善于斗
features.
争的意志品质，坚决战胜
Through courage and skill,
任何
we
有
will
可能
overcome
阻
all
碍
major risks
中华
and
民族
challenges that
复
may
兴进程
impede
的
our path
重
to
大
national
风险挑
rejuvenation,
战，坚决维护
and
国家主
resolutely
权、安
safeguard
全、
our
发
national
展利益。
sovereignty, security, and development interests.
辛亥革命110年来的历史
The past
启示我们
110 years have shown us
实现中华民族
that
伟
to
大复兴，
realize national
中
rejuvenation,
国人民和中华民族
the Chinese
必须
people and nation
同舟共济，
must stick together
依靠
through
团
good
结
times and bad,
战胜前进道路上的一切风险挑战。
and rely on our strong unity to overcome all risks and challenges on the road ahead. Dr. Sun Yat-sen once said, "To restore our nation's standing, we must first restore our national spirit." Since the advent of modern times, the Chinese people and the nation have promoted a great spirit of patriotism and fought with one heart and mind. Together, they have accomplished the heroic feats of resisting foreign aggression, overthrowing reactionary rule, building a country of the people, and advancing reform and opening up. The United Front has always been an important instrument that has allowed the CPC to rally the people's support and pool their strengths for such endeavors. On the journey ahead, we must fully promote patriotism, foster a strong sense of national dignity and confidence among our people, and strengthen the Chinese nation's sense of community. We must rely closely on the concerted efforts of all the sons and daughters of the Chinese nation, uphold great unity and solidarity, and continue to consolidate and develop the broadest possible patriotic united front. In this way, we will pull together the ingenuity and strengths of the Chinese nation and enable all Chinese people, both at home and abroad, to unite as one in promoting the great cause of national rejuvenation. The past 110 years have shown us that to realize national rejuvenation, we need not only a stable and united domestic environment, but also a peaceful and stable international environment. Dr. Sun Yat-sen said, "When China becomes strong and prosperous, we should not only restore the nation to its rightful position, but also assume greater responsibility in the world." Aggression and hegemony are not in the blood of the Chinese people. Our people hope to successfully realize national development, but they also hope to see all peoples of the world leading happy and peaceful lives. On the journey ahead, China will always fly the flag of peace, development, cooperation, and mutual benefit. Strive to promote the building of a human community with a shared future, and endeavor to improve the global governance system. We will promote the shared human values of peace, development, fairness, justice, democracy, and freedom. Work to strengthen solidarity with the peoples of all other countries, and engage in common efforts to oppose hegemony and power politics. China will always remain a champion of world peace, a contributor to global development, and a defender of the international order, and we will do our very best to make ever greater contributions to humanity. Comrades and friends, Dr. Sun Yat-sen once said,
Unification
is the hope of all Chinese people. If China can be unified, all Chinese will enjoy a happy life. If it cannot, all will suffer. The Taiwan question arose out of the weakness and the chaos of our nation, and it will be resolved as national rejuvenation becomes a reality. This is determined by the general trend of Chinese history, but more importantly, it is the common will of all Chinese people. As Dr. Sun said, the tide of history is mighty. Those who follow it will prosper, while those who go against it will perish. National reunification by peaceful means best serves the interests of the Chinese nation as a whole, including our compatriots in Taiwan. We will adhere to the basic policies of a peaceful reunification and one country, two systems. Uphold the One China principle and the 1992 consensus. And work for the peaceful development of cross-strait relations. Compatriots on both sides of the Taiwan Strait should stand on the right side of history and join hands to achieve China's complete reunification and the reunification of the Chinese nation. The Chinese nation has an honorable tradition of opposing division and safeguarding unity. Secession amid at Taiwan independence is the greatest obstacle to national reunification and a grave danger to national reunification and rejuvenation. Those who forget their heritage, betray their motherland, and seek to split the country will come to no good end. They will be detained by the people and condemned by history. The Taiwan question is purely an internal matter for China, one which brooks no external interference. No one should underestimate the resolve, the will, and the ability of the Chinese people to defend our national sovereignty and territorial integrity. The complete reunification of our country will be and can be realized. Comrades and friends, since the advent of modern times, the Chinese people have created impressive achievements through arduous efforts and have come to embrace the brilliant prospects of national rejuvenation. For all Chinese people, achieving national rejuvenation is not only a shared honor, but also a shared mission. Dr. Sun Yat-sen said, "It is my sincere hope that every one of us will carry the responsibility of revitalizing China on our own shoulders. Here I would like to call on all the sons and the daughters of the Chinese nation at home and abroad to unite even more closely, to carry forward the great spirit of Dr. Sun Yat-sen and other pioneers of the Revolution of 1911, and to continue to forge ahead toward the rejuvenation of the Chinese nation.
Just now,
习近平总书记发表了重要
General
讲话，
Secretary Xi Jinping
高度评
delivered
价了
important
辛亥
remarks,
革命的历史
speaking
功
highly
绩
of the
和重大意
historical
义，
achievements and
回顾总
significance
结了
of the
中国
Revolution of
共产党
1911.
继承
He
孙中山
revealed
先生革
how
命
the
事业，
CPC carried on
团结带
the
领人民
revolutionary cause
不
of
懈奋
Dr.
斗的
Sun Yat-sen,
光辉历程，
united and lead
深
the
刻
Chinese
阐述
people
了
in the
辛亥革
tireless
命
struggle to
110年来
achieve
的历
glorious
史启示。
progress. He has profoundly
郑重宣示了
explained the
坚持一
historical
个中国原
enlightenment
则
of the revolution
和九二
and
共识，
solemnly reaffirmed
坚
the
决
One
遏
China
制台
policy
独的分裂活动，
1992 consensus and
捍
the
卫国家主
determination
权和
to
领土
curb
完
the
整的
separatist
坚强
activities
决心
behind Taiwan
与
independence
坚定意
and
志。
safeguard national sovereignty
习
and
近平总
territorial
书记的重要
integrity.
讲话
General
立意
Secretary
高
Xi
远，
Jinping's
思想
important
深邃，
remarks
鼓舞人心，
are
催
farsighted
人
and
奋进。
profound in thought.
我们要
They are
深入
encouraging
学习
and
领会，
motivating. We
认真贯
must
彻落
bear
实，
them in mind
努力
and
形
act
成
in
海内
accordance
外
in an
全体中
effort
华儿女
to
心往一处
form a
进
majestic
往一处
force
使
to
的
realize
生
national
动局面，
rejuvenation
汇聚
with
起
all the
实
sons
现
and
民
daughters
族
of the
复兴的
Chinese people
磅礴力
thinking
量。
as one mind and working for one cause.
同志们、朋友们，
Comrades
让我们
and
更加紧
friends,
密地团
let
结
us
在以
more
习近
closely
平同志
rally
为核
around
心
the
的
CPC
中
Central
共中央周
Committee
围，
with Comrade Xi
高举
Jinping
中国
at
特色
the
社会主
core,
义伟大
hold
旗
high the
帜，
banner of socialism
继
with
承
Chinese
和弘扬
characteristics,
辛
and
亥
carry
革
on
命
the
精神，
spirits of the Revolution of
同心同
1911.
德，携手并
Let
肩，
us forge
一
ahead
起
shoulder
奋发，
by shoulder
向
of
着
one
全面
heart
建
and one
成社会主义
mind,
现代化强
so as
国
to
的
vigorously
第二
march
个百
toward
年
the
奋斗目
second
标迈进，
centenary goal of building
为实
a
现祖
strong
国完全
socialist
统
modern
一，
country,
实现
and
中华民族伟大复兴的
thus
中国梦，
realizing the
做出
Chinese
新的
dream
更大贡
of
献。
complete
纪
reunification
念辛亥
and
革
the
命
great rejuvenation of
110
the
周年
Chinese
大会
nation. So
到
this is
此
the
结
end
束，
of the
散会。
commemoration of the 110th anniversary of the Revolution of 1911.